To begin your felted bowl, start with a ball of Merino Wool roving, and then cut 20 inches from the roving. You will need a dish towel plus a spare towel, some tulle or mesh, sticky mat, the foam that protects your computer tools, a plastic bag bunched up, Dawn and water, a balloon, a cap, and cards. Begin by preparing your wool. You will first need to either pull this apart with your hand so that there are some air pockets between your wool, or you can use cards to break apart the lumps of wool. After you've completed lightly carding the wool, separate your wool into 6 piles. Then you will lay your dishcloth folded in half, the sticky mat, the tulle, and the foam cut into a circle. Begin by laying your first ball of wool onto the foam and using warm water and Dawn, use plenty of it to smush it onto the foam. It's important that you smush it down really well and that you aren't too scared to use too much water and soap. Be sure that you're smushing the wool just to the outside edge of the foam circle. Once you've completed your foam circle, you are going to take tiny pieces, no longer than about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of the wool to create eyelashes. You will put a little bit of the wool around the edge on the wet part of the wool, and then you will keep part of it dry as it extends past this. This is going to be the point where your wool turns into a ball and it will be the edge that it goes around. So you don't want to use too much or too little. After you've laid all of your eyelashes on, you'll go back to your bag that's been bunched into a ball, put it in the warm soapy water, and start to press the eyelashes down so that they are smushed really well onto your first layer. After you've completed that, you're going to turn the bowl over, place your cap in the center of the bowl, and start by putting another sort of spiral of wool from your next ball of wool onto the top portion of the foam. Smush with warm soapy water all the way around again. And be sure that you're going out to the edge of the foam. Once you've completed that, you can start to fold the eyelashes over directly onto the top layer. If you find that there are spots that are a little bit bare, simply add a little bit more wool so that your bowl is even. The most important part of this bowl is making sure that the eyelashes are covering the edge and are really bumping up against the edge of the foam consistently. If there's too much or too little of the eyelash wool, you'll be able to see a line once you turn this into a 3-dimensional product. Use plenty of warm soapy water and continue to do this until everything is laying nice and flat and is really smushed together. Then you can remove the cap and smush the opening a little bit more, evening out those edges so that they're really bumping up against the edge of the foam. Now you're going to flip over the foam again and repeat the process. You will do this 3 times total, starting by smushing the wool onto the back edge, Then applying the eyelashes and smushing the eyelashes just on to the edge of the fabric. And then flipping it over, putting the cap back into the center, another spiral of wool roving, getting that wet with the warm soapy water, and then folding the eyelashes back over once again. Again, you really can't use too much water, so don't be afraid that you're going to be using too much. The wool will absorb most of it, and you'll need it for the next step in the felting process. Finally, you'll complete the process one more time, putting a spiral of wool onto the bottom, smushing it with the warm soapy water, being sure that you're getting right up to that edge, and then applying the eyelashes, and only getting the part of the eyelash wool wet that is on the foam. You'll flip this over and you can put another spiral on, or you can simply fold the remainder of the eyelashes on, wetting it with the warm soapy water. Next, you're going to take your bowl over to the sink and you're going to rinse it with warm water. You can add more soap to it if it's starting to get a little bit fluffy like this, and you can also keep the foam in. Next, you're going to start felting. You're going to cover the wool with the tool and then fold it with the sticky mat and the towel, and then you're going to roll this 50 times. This is how the bowl is going to start being felted to itself. For the first couple of times, you can leave that foam sheet in, and then after a bit, you can remove the foam sheet so that your bowl can start to shrink down past the point of it. Once the bowl is smaller than the piece of foam, pre-blow up a balloon, put the balloon in the bowl, and then blow up the balloon again so that it fits inside of the bowl and is closed. If you notice that your edges are a little rough, while the balloon is still in the bowl, you just need to get the edges wet with the warm soapy water, and then you're going to agitate the bowl in the tool with the towel until your edges are smooth. Alternatively, if you want, you can also stuff garbage bags into the bowl and have it dry like that, and also have it roll into the ball like this. Let this rest and dry overnight, and you've completed a felted bowl.